After you, since you shut down pit production up in Rocky Flats, but I did want to ask you if you moonlight, now that they reestablished pit production down at Los Alamos, you come on down and do a little work for me and shut it down down south of you as well. You want to make a deal? We'll talk terms later. Now, I want to salute, John, somebody who's really been in the trenches. And in general, I want to salute whistleblowers as well. And these are, just the guys and gals that know the inside dirt. And just what they come up with is invaluable. And I'm speaking only of my work. So much of it has been premised on what whistleblowers have brought forward. So I'm going to give an award to one whistleblower. But before I do, I want to at least recognize another, and that's Chuck Montano, if you'd stand up real quick. And Chuck was at the laboratory, the Los Alamos laboratory. I never get it right, but it's more than 30 years. And Chuck's basic problem is that he's an auditor and that he's professional and ethical. So that didn't work.
That was a conflict. That was a conflict, right?
Yeah. So his career path of being ethical didn't work out. So that's a whole long story. But I want to move on to honoring Jim Doyle right here. I would observe another good-looking Irishman, wouldn't you say? Something like that. but as so often starts, a beautiful relationship begins in a bar, right? And I think I met Jim, 6-7 years ago at the local bar in Santa Fe, the one that's closest to my house. And it has a very good blues jam. And that's where I met him over repeated weeks. And so gradually I got to know him a little bit. And first of all, he's from Los Alamos, and I don't think I want to know him. But then I find out he's in the non-proliferation division. And I'm thinking, maybe this guy's okay, I'll talk to him. And we get to know each other a little bit, and then he ends up telling me that he wrote this article that was published internationally arguing for the abolition of nuclear weapons. And kind of my immediate response is, are you sure you're from Los Alamos? Well, apparently management kind of ended up, genius runs in the same direction. They apparently thought the same thing I was thinking. Are you really from Los Alamos, Lab? So what they did, Jim had the forethought to go pre-clear his report, his study arguing for abolition, but to get that cleared for classification in advance, which he did. And so then subsequently thereafter, the laboratory retroactively classifies his study, which is nuts. It's already out on the internet, etc. It's around the world. And Jim, you have to be mindful of the fact he has an active whistleblower case going, and he can't really talk about things, but I can. And first of all, his study is on nuclearwatch.org, so it's on my website. And I urge you to read it. It's called Why Eliminate Nuclear Weapons. And again, he can't talk about it, but I'll make the observation is there is only one possible thing that's classified in that study, and it is the word Israel. Along with the other nuclear weapons powers, he mentions Israel. And believe it or not, that is still a classified matter. The U.S. government considers that to be still classified. But to classify it, first of all, retroactively, to classify it over that's my contention, not his, it is just nuts. Now, so again, as I'm talking to him over rock and roll and at this bar, etc., Jim kept telling me he thought that his case was going to work out. And so this process developed. He's going through all this stuff, and then all of a sudden a reporter calls senior management at Los Alamos, calls them in July of 2014. This is from the Center for Public Integrity. So national media is finally, getting hold of the story, and guess what? He's fired the next day. So that's what you get for arguing for nuclear weapons abolition. And I should mention, he did this study on his own time, too. So anyway, Jim, bad career move, but so it goes. Now, what I really want to honor him for is the fact, I just said the word career, he is actually determined to pursue, this is what I think is remarkable, he's actually determined to pursue an ongoing career in non-proliferation outside of government. It's amazing. And he has some reports that have come out. I should mention, largely supported by Plowshares, and another great thing that Plowshares has done. And thank you so much. I urge you to talk to Jim. Maybe he'll say some things about it, but the main thing he's after, as I understand it, is to promote the technologies, the hardware, new verification and monitoring technologies that would actually make a future world free of nuclear weapons more technically and politically possible. So instead of being abstract, instead of more Prague rhetoric, actually take concrete steps towards moving towards a world free of nuclear weapons. So this is what this man is engaged in. Needless to say, he's had a hard time. His world's been turned upside down. But nevertheless, we brave few, we continue on, and thank you so much. So to read the award itself, presented to Dr. James Doyle for being a strong advocate for nuclear weapons abolition at the Los Alamos lab, then courageously choosing to pursue a career as a non-proliferation expert outside of government. And thank you so much, Jim.